Basically, you have had a country that has gradually, over the 15 years, turned to a global sourcing way of getting products to lower their prices for the past 15 years. Now, what has happened is that we had a president and administration that was more interested in terrorism than anything else. So they didn't have their eye on the ball. They didn't see what was happening. They were keeping track of jobs, but these jobs were not engineering jobs. Engineering jobs were being globally sourced. They learned not only to globally source parts, they learned to globally source people. And if you go into pharmacies, you're going to see foreigners because they have been sourced. That's the way it works now. Now what has happened is all of these American pharmacists that may go to an American college, cost them $30,000, $40,000, okay? He has to compete against a guy who went to school in India that didn't pay that much for his school. And so this Indian is driving down the price, and they drove down all the wages. Well, that's basically what you have in America. All of these people have had their whole wages driven way down. The people that were buying the products, now all of a sudden, like, see, Bush just followed his employment and said, oh, it's staying about the same. But what was happening was people were losing good jobs and picking up McDonald's jobs. And with the McDonald's jobs, they couldn't buy a house in Grand Blanc or these expensive cars, and they had to drop in levels.
No, so they went and borrow money against their house to get some money to buy that.
Right. There you go.
Most of the jobs are sent overseas. Why? So that they can pay less to the workers there, not really reduce the prices that we pay for a product, and yet their income grows exponentially.
That's right.
One of the things we do need to point out to President Obama and his administration is the fact to say that taxes, give corporations a tax break and pay it directly to the corporation, that is not going to generate jobs. Why? Because when corporations, and especially small to medium companies, they can't even afford. I know we used to be a small corporation, and if you gave us a tax break, then we would not have hired new employees. You don't give enough of a tax break to hire a part-time employee. What they're going to do is reinvest it in their company and keep it. There are a lot of small corporations now, and especially in the medical field, that most doctors and especially surgeons are finding that payroll is a thing that when it's time for payday, I have to pay my employees, especially if you're in a small, you own your own medical practice. And you say, I pay my employees, but I don't have enough to pay myself. I know people who work in the tax field, also he's working in the revenue service, and you're having professional physicians who can't even afford to pay their own self.
This was supposed to make us better because we were supposed to give away our medium jobs that were very difficult to do and dirty. And they were supposed to teach us to do the technology type of jobs. But things happened along the way. The people that were supposed to be running the program decided, hey, we can make this money for our corporations, and look at all the campaign contributions we can get back. We can stay in control of the government. So what really happened was the people who lost their jobs didn't get the education that was necessary. And not only that, but the people that they fathered, those people are giving us problems. They are in the jails and the prisons. We are paying more to keep someone in prison than if we had taught them at kindergarten school what it is to be a citizen of the community. How we can be responsible and help our communities grow. It's deteriorated badly under the people who figure that corporate power is the way to go.
They have to keep about under the Clinton administration.
Yes.
Ross Perot was laughed off national television against Al Gore. I voted for Ross Perot in '96. I was definitely in a minority. The problems that we have in this country were not started when Bush took over, although he was kind of elected the first time. He was almost certainly re-elected. And he's done tremendous damage. But he was elected. And still, almost half the people in the country think that they were right. I agree with most everything that's been said here. But the political reality is that we're not going to get our way. We have to make a deal, especially this stimulus. Obama says, and the Democrats, they passed the House without any Republican support. We're going to have to compromise to get it through the Senate. Well, the net result of all this is going to be that we're going to have to change some of our ideas. We're going to have to make some compromises. We're going to have to get what we can get.
I mean, that's a society. We all own parts of corporations. Most people that have any kind of a launder stock or anything else all own part of corporations. We're really more concerned with the fact that they make money. And so the people that run the corporations, the chief executive officers, they don't work for the company, they work for the board of directors. And the board of directors says you will make money. And I can't blame those people for making the decisions that they needed to make in order to make more money for their company. But that said, I think that we need to do more about using the ingenuity and the resources we have available in this country to make this country and its products and the output of each worker to be in demand worldwide. We need to apply our reasoning to be able to say, okay, we're going to make the best widget in the world and everybody's going to want it. And if we can inspire Americans to apply ourselves that way, ultimately that's going to end up giving us all jobs. If we'll become, the old China.
In 1896, the founder of IBM invented the first computer. A lot of people don't know that. It went back to 1896. And then yesterday I was shocked to hear on National Public Radio that IBM is advising the people they're laying off to move from the United States and relocate in India and Indonesia
If you want a
and
job.
other countries
Right.
that pay much less. Because if they go to India, they would make, if they relative same job, 1/4 of the salary or wages they earn here. So we've got one of the biggest notice corporations in the United States advising our citizens, their workers that are being laid off, to move out of the United States and to